Hi, and welcome to this video in which we are going to explore the use of the if function. For this tutorial, we're going to use the somatic cell count dataset, that is the SCC dataset, which has somatic cell counts from different farms. And in this activity, we're going to create a new variable that is coded high if the log of the somatic cell count is higher than the median, and low if the log of the somatic cell count is lower than or equal to the median. So before we get started on the actual calculation of the median, I'm going to create a new column, and I'm going to call that ln_scc dot cat 02, and this is a naming convention that I always use, which is if I'm creating a categorical variable from the continuous variable, then I always end it with the word cat, and the 02 means that there are two levels, so high and low. You can do whatever you wish with your naming. That's just a tip for sort of keeping track of things. Now I'm going to need to find the median, and just to make life a little bit easier when I come back to this spreadsheet so I have an idea of what's around, I'm going to write median there, and I'm going to enter the formula beside it. Now I know what the formula name for getting a median is, but if I didn't, I could go up here to formulas, to insert function, and I could see if it's in the frequently used, which it isn't, and I could type median in the search function, and up comes median, which is very helpful. So I click OK, and I get a wizard to help guide me through it. And so I need to enter which numbers I'm going to use, and I could do that by clicking and going down like so, or, which is actually my preferred way in these sorts of situations, is I actually like to select the entire column by moving the mouse to the column area and clicking, and it shows up, as you can see here, as an HH. And the advantage of doing this is that when I add new rows of data, so if I've got data coming in for a study and I want to have values automatically update, I don't need to go back through and extend the range of the data. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to press OK, and the median is displayed, as you can see here. Okay. If I knew the function name, I could have simply gone median like so. Same answer. So I'm just going to delete that now. Alright. So I'm going to now use the if function. Now remember that we're going to code this new variable high if the value is greater than the median, and low if the value is less than or equal to the median. So because it's a function, we start with equals. We say if this value here is greater than the median, we want you to return the value high. Now I have to use quotation marks if I want to add a text. If I was using numbers, I wouldn't need a quotation mark. And then I say low and enter. Now when I do logic functions, because it can be quite easy to make a basic mistake, I do just copy it down a few rows and see if it's behaving as I would think. And right away I can see a problem, because we've got a value here that should be low and it's not. So I'm going to go and have a look at what that issue might be. So if I go here, I can see that this is referencing this cell, which is what I expected, and it's referencing this cell. So let's have a look at what's going on in this one where I can see there's an error. Here we know that this is a cell it should be referencing, but it's referencing out here, so it's actually referencing relative, so it's taking the value in L6. We want it to take the value in L2. So to fix this problem, we go up and we need to change the L2 from being what we call a relative cell reference to being an absolute, and that's really as straightforward as adding dollar signs in there and pressing enter. Another way that you can do this instead of adding dollar signs is manually, is that you can just press F4 and that will add it automatically for you. So I think the formula is fine now, so again I'm just going to do what I did before. And yes, it is working as I would expect. So I'm ready to copy this formula down, which is taking a while because there's quite a few rows in this data. So in actual fact, I'm just going to show you a shortcut, which is I go across one row, and there's a reason for that. That lets me scroll to the very bottom. I click End and I click the down arrow, and now I'm at the very bottom of the data set. I go across to the column that I'm wanting to paste to. I press Shift, I pressed End, and I press I press the up arrow key, and now I'm taken to the very last row, and Control V, and I'm able to paste the function. And quick look, and that seems to be behaving as we would expect.